Aw, yeah. Welcome to Wrestling Uncensored. I'm Dave Simon. He's Johnny North. WrestlingUncensored.net is the website. RingsideReport.net. You go there. You watch all the shows. So many shows available there. Dave and Johnny Live. We talked all sorts of pro wrestling on Dave and Johnny Live this week. You can check that out on the YouTube channel. That's a YouTube exclusive show that you can watch at RingsideReport.net. It's kind of an extension of Wrestling Uncensored. You can also watch the MMA show that went down this week every Thursday night at 8 p.m. live on the YouTube channel, Ringside Report MMA. You could watch that show. AJ back in full effect. Freddie was there. And we had a good time talking about Conor McGregor and UFC 245 and everything going on in the UFC and, combat sports. So we got it all covered for you at RingsideReport.net. Here, though, on the show, we cover professional wrestling. We're going to preview WWE TLC, taking place this weekend in Minneapolis, Minnesota. Minnesota's own Brock Lesnar, not on the card. The WWE champion will not be participating because he's busy elsewhere or whatever, doesn't feel like showing up. He's not contractually obligated, so, the champ won't be there. The Universal Champion will be there, though, Bray Wyatt, a.k.a. The Fiend, but this will be Bray Wyatt wrestling The Miz. Bray is the champion on SmackDown, but he's not going to be defending his title against The Miz for some reason. Here, we're going to have Roman Reigns versus King Corbin in a TLC match. We will also have the Kabuki Warriors, Asuka and Kairi Sane, the WWE Tag Team Champions, defending against Becky Lynch and Charlotte Flair in a TLC match for the WWE Tag Team titles. The Raw Tag Team titles will be on the line. The Viking Raiders are going to defend in an open challenge. And the New Day, the SmackDown Tag Team Champions, will be defending against The Revival. Elsewhere on this card, we have Rusev and Bobby Lashley. Bobby, of course, with Rusev's former wife, Lana, in his corner. This will be a tables match. We're going to have Aleister Black. Somebody finally wanted to pick a fight with him, and it's Buddy Murphy. Buddy Murphy. He's going to be taking on Aleister Black. And that, so far, is the card here for WWE TLC. We're also going to preview some pretty big episodes of AEW Dynamite and WWE NXT coming up on Wednesday, December the 18th. It'll actually be the final episode of the year, of the decade, right? Not just the year, but the decade for NXT and for AEW. And what a decade it has been for AEW, right? A very short run this decade, but it's been quite a year for AEW, and they have a big show planned. Le Champion, Chris Jericho, will be in action. The tag team titles on the line. The Young Bucks challenging. We're going to get to that. We'll also get to what's happening on NXT because they have a very solid card coming up on Wednesday night. Nothing from NXT at TLC, which is a little bit strange, right? I mean, Raw and SmackDown both represented on this card. NXT very heavily represented at Survivor Series. They won Survivor Series. And the next pay-per-view, the Royal Rumble, apparently it'll be 10 people from Raw, 10 people from SmackDown, and 10 people from NXT in each of the men's and women's Royal Rumble matches. So NXT is going to be represented at the next pay-per-view, but this one here in the middle, TLC, well, it's just for Raw and SmackDown. The WWE keeps trying to push NXT as the third brand. This is the real main roster. This is the real top brand, and they did a really good job of doing that at Survivor Series. But here at TLC, the absence of NXT is, I'd say, odd. It's just a little bit odd and maybe a slight misstep. They could have had one NXT match on this card. I don't know why they're not doing it. Survivor Series before, lots of NXT. The Rumble, there's going to be lots of NXT. TLC, it's just a main roster only type of thing, once again, which kind of goes back on what they were trying to do with NXT and kind of elevating it, right?
Well, they elevated NXT. They did what they had to do, and now they're moving on. It's the same old, same old. Raw and SmackDown run the pay-per-views. That's it.
Sure, they're moving on, but then they expect us to buy into NXT coming back and taking over at the Royal Rumble.
Right. You're supposed to buy into that. Eat it up. You don't eat it up? Come on.
Well, don't you think it would be a good idea to have one NXT match at TLC, at least to just have some continuation?
It would have to be that Finn Balor Adam Cole match they have set for TV, which they want for TV because they have to go up against AEW. So that's more important than the pay-per-view.
I don't know. I think that they could do something. You know, who's the NXT Tag Team Champions? The guys there? The
Undisputed Era?
Yeah.
Bobby Fish is injured, though.
So have Roderick.
Okay, you could do that, sure.
You know, have Roderick defend his title against an NXT guy at TLC in a chairs match. You know, something. There's no chairs match yet at TLC. There's no ladder match either, by the way. Usually at TLC, the WWE likes to give you a tables match, a ladders match, and a chairs match, and then a TLC match where everything's there. Right now, they have 2 TLC matches booked, 1 tables match, but 0 chairs matches and not a ladder match, even though, you know, the TLC matches are kind of ladder matches. Although, will Baron and Roman be a ladder match?
Well, it's a pinfall ladder. They've done pinfall
ladder match.
TLC, yeah.
What about the Kabukis and the Becky and Charlotte? That'll be a traditional ladder match where you have to grab the belts.
Because the belts are on the line.
But they're both called TLC matches.
Right, but they've had TLCs where you just pin. Dean Ambrose, Bray Wyatt was just pin. But they use the ladder, they use the chairs, they use the tables.
Right, but they don't really need to win the match. It's just there.
Exactly, it's legal.
They should have to use a ladder, chair, and table in some way before they're allowed to reach a pinfall in one of those TLC matches with pinfalls.
It's an interesting stipulation, but it's not what's required, though, like when they do matches like this.
I know, but what's the point of having it be a TLC match if it's a pinfall? That's not a TLC match. A TLC match is where something is suspended above the ring and you're trying to climb the ladder to get it, and in the meantime, people are hitting you with chairs and they're knocking you off those ladders and putting you through tables. That's a TLC match. That's how it started. That's the traditional style of TLC matches.
Yeah, but when the Shield showed up, they changed the rules to that, where it's just like, well, you can have TLC match, don't need titles.
But shouldn't it make sense a little bit when you have 2 TLC matches on the same card, but the rules are different? You're calling it the same match, same style match. One's a tag team, one's a one-on-one, but the rules are completely different in both matches?
It's just what you can expect. That's it. Expect to see some table spots, ladders, and chairs. That's it.
Okay. So you're fine with that. That's good for you.
As long as they deliver on what they promise, pretty much. They're promising that you're going to get to see all this stuff in this one match. Is it going to be that good with Roman and Baron? Probably not. But at least that tag match, I think, will make up for it. I
would like it to make a bit more sense. I would like for some continuity a little bit.
Well, just Roman and Baron in a chair match or ladder match? Like, ugh. I don't want to see that.
Well, I would rather see that because at least it would make sense. Like if it was just a chairs match, cool. Just hit each other with chairs. Give me just one TLC match. I would prefer that. It would make more sense.
Besides maybe Undertaker Batista, has there been a good chairs match? I don't think so.
Well, it's not like this TLC with Roman and, I mean, you don't expect it to be good either. So if it's not going to be good, who cares about the stipulation?
Well, at least throw in as much as you can to make it as good as you possibly can, at least.
Okay. Roman's going to win, though. He's going to get his revenge here, Big Johnny?
Has to. I mean,
right?
This is why he got dog food poured all over him.
Yeah.
So he gets the big win.
Yeah. He's going to beat up Baron Corbin, put him through a table, maybe put him through a ladder. Probably not, though. Put him through a table. Roman might go through a table, the announce table or something, you know? Do that spear through the announce table he likes to do.
Well, you got to save some stuff for the women later, so I don't know if you break the announce tables. Maybe break a table, but set it up.
Should be earlier on in the card, right?
Well, this one could be kind of middle.
This could open. I think this will open. You want to spread the TLC matches apart.
Yeah, but you have a bunch of matches that don't have stipulations, and maybe you want to get that over with quicker because there's not going to be much reaction, especially Aleister Black and Buddy Murphy.
Yeah, that should be bumped to the pre-show at this point.
But do you have enough for a pre-show? I mean, 7 matches right now. I mean, you got to add a couple of things. I expect some matches will be added, but I expect those matches might be on pre-show.
Some sort of AJ Styles Rey Mysterio thing would be nice.
I could see that being added. Makes sense.
That match was very good on Raw this week.
Except for the fact that it pretty much just ended on time and you almost didn't see the finish.
Well, the finish was botched, too.
Well, just because they fell off the second rope, right?
Yeah, Ray goes for the big Frankensteiner. AJ's supposed to catch him in the Styles Clash, but Ray just kind of keeps on going, and they fell in a heap. And then they kind of repositioned themselves, and then AJ hit a power bomb, and then the Styles Clash. That power bomb was rough looking.
Well, he kind of rushed it because he knew he didn't have a lot of time, so
right.
That's why.
And then Randy comes in the ring, and then AJ's like, huh? And then Randy leaves the ring, and AJ gets rolled up, 1, 2, 3, and then Raw just ends. It looked like they were wanting to do an AJ Styles, Randy Orton stare down. You know how they do when Randy's on the ramp and AJ's in the ring, and they look at each other with rage? Something.
Right.
They look like they were trying to do a little bit more, but they ran out of time in the show that just ended. But as far as a main event, I don't really care that they screwed up the finish. That move is tough to pull off, and sometimes you're not going to pull it off. It's totally cool. Ray versus AJ Styles in a main event of Raw for the U.S. title? Excellent. I'm not arguing with that. That was very good. I love watching Rey Mysterio and AJ Styles wrestle. This feud is great. The fact that Randy Orton is involved is fine. I think he's an interesting, extra element, and it gives something for AJ to do once he's done feuding with Ray. I mean, he dropped the title to Ray, so you expect him to, maybe lose another match to Ray and then move on to something else, and Randy Orton will be that something else.
Well, if they get added to TLC, more than likely it could be a show-stealing kind of match. I could see a ladder match. Maybe throw AJ, Ray, Randy, and somebody else, maybe Ricochet. That will easily steal the show.
Yeah, and I know Randy's been involved in it, but personally, I would like to see Ray versus AJ ladder match one-on-one, because that could be a classic. Talk about steal the show. That could be one of the greatest matches ever,
Potentially, yes.
So let's do that.
Well, hopefully they will.
A 4-way's kind of a mess. One-on-one ladder match, Ray, AJ, imagine, for the U.S. title. Imagine how good that might be. Whew.
Yeah, but the way Raw ended, you have to throw Randy in that. It doesn't make sense if you don't throw Randy into it.
You just throw Randy into the finish, cost AJ the match again.
It's just a repeat.
So, it's fine. Nice RKO off a ladder.
Yeah, sure, but I think throw him in the match.
All right. So, Roman, Corbin, we both expect Roman to win. Spear, 1, 2, 3, middle of the ring.
Well, it has to be hit the Superman punch, the kick out that you can't believe that happens.
Yeah.
And then the spear.
Uh-huh.
That's the way it's going to go down.
Hoo-ah. Hoo-ah! Kind of predictable, kind of boring, kind of what SmackDown's all about these days. I'm liking Raw more than SmackDown lately. Raw's better. SmackDown is not that good.
Well, Raw was okay. I think NXT is still the best show, I think, of all 3.
Yeah. I like all the Kevin Owens on Raw. I'm not liking all this Baron Corbin, Dolph Ziggler, Roman Reigns stuff on SmackDown. The Fiend and The Miz,
Yeah, it's not great. It's true.
Hasn't been a great show. It's been, I feel like, in a decline. While Raw, I think, is getting better and better.
Well, I do like The Fiend. I think him and Daniel Bryan, that should have been the feud going forward, and I guess they're just putting that on pause. Once that starts up again, I think that will be the main reason to watch SmackDown. It's just, unfortunately, you get The Miz in the meantime.
Yeah, once Daniel Bryan's on the show, it gives you a reason to watch again, and he's going to be doing something. When he comes back, he's going to be working some sort of character, something different from Daniel Bryan that we haven't seen.
Well,
I don't know what it's going to be, but, Bray Wyatt ripped his hair off and everything. He's going to show up looking different at least.
bald,
There's going to
maybe?
be something going on there with Daniel Bryan, and I'm excited to see what it is because I know it's going to be good because he's a guy that really thinks about his wrestling and his character and what he's trying to do.
We'll probably see Daniel Bryan at TLC. I imagine he'll show up after Bray Wyatt probably beats The Miz.
Daniel Bryan's not going to help Miz win, is he?
Well, no, Bray Wyatt will already won the match. Then Daniel
Okay.
Bryan will show up.
All right. So you think Bray Wyatt's going to beat The Miz?
I do, but I wouldn't be surprised if Miz wins this one because it's not The Fiend, right? The Fiend's unstoppable. But we've never seen Bray Wyatt wrestle.
Yeah, we have.
Well, but just him and his little outfit
We haven't seen Mr. Rogers Bray Wyatt wrestle.
Exactly.
Right. The Firefly Funhouse Bray Wyatt, who's all smiles, who wears a sweater, he hasn't wrestled. He's going to wrestle in the sweater, right? He's got to.
Maybe not. I don't know.
That's what Bray Wyatt looks like now.
It's not going to be that muscle kind of thing that he wears all the time, like when he's working out.
What do you mean?
When he does the workout with the husky.
The muscle shirt?
Yeah,
Maybe he'll wear that. That would be funny.
with the fanny pack. Yeah.
I don't expect this match to be very good. Bray Wyatt and The Miz. Oof. Bowling shoe ugly, pal.
Yeah, but it doesn't have to be long. And most matches with the Fiend or Bray Wyatt, whatever, they aren't long. So I think they know how to make sure this works. I hope.
Okay. Aleister Black against Buddy Murphy. I think Aleister Black just, beats him here.
I think it'll be a fine match. It's just we'll have any heat to it because I don't know if people are really invested into it that much.
What's the feud here? Aleister Black's been wanting somebody to pick a fight with him, and then Buddy Murphy knocked on the door and was like, "Hey, I'll fight you." Shouldn't Aleister Black be happy? It's what he wanted, a fight. He got to fight.
Yeah, he's always
Professional wrestler. You should be looking for a fight. Nobody wants to fight you. In the UFC, if you're a really dangerous guy and nobody wants to fight you and somebody steps up and is like, "Hey, I want to fight you," you're like, "Oh, thank you for taking this fight. I appreciate it. Everybody else is scared to fight me, but you're a tough guy and I respect you." And, but here Aleister Black is like, "What? You picked a fight with me? This is exactly what I've been cutting promos about for the past 6 months. I can't believe you did this to me. I'm going to destroy you, Buddy Murphy. I hate you so much." And it's like, what? It's just not realistic. It's not a realistic motivation for the character, and that's the problem with WWE a lot. It's just not realistic. The Fiend, it's not really realistic. It's not something I can buy into. AJ Styles is a realistic type character. Roman Reigns is a realistic type character. The Fiend, not so much. Even The Miz, is reality based. It's just sometimes these reality-based characters, even like Aleister Black, who's kind of reality-based, even though he's got like a spooky element to him, right? He's in the dark. He rises up when he does his entrance. He's like half dead man, half not. He's like a indie dead man type of thing, He's like a hipster Undertaker type of thing, right?
Hipster Undertaker, that's good, yeah.
Hipster Undertaker. He's a hipster taker, right? So he's got kind of a gimmick going on, but it's like, it's weird. It's not really working. It's not really connecting. And the motivations of the character are a little bit confused.
No, I think his hate for Buddy Murphy is justified because Buddy Murphy knocked on his door and then said, "I pick a fight," but he walked away before Aleister Black answered the door.
Well, why does it take Aleister Black so long to answer the door? I feel like Buddy Murphy knocked on the door, waited, called his name, and then heard nothing, and then walked away. That's how it went down on Raw.
Yeah, but Aleister Black, he's always like crouched down, so he has to get up. That takes time. Then go and open the door.
What is he, 75 years old? What do you mean it takes time to get up from a crouching position? This is an athlete. He's in good shape. That doesn't take time. He should be like, "Oh, somebody knocked on my door, ba-boom," and he's right out the door.
He's probably like sleeping and like, someone knocked? Like, wow, that's
He's
amazing.
sleeping. This guy's sleeping.
Meditating, perhaps. Better for his gimmick. But anyways, Buddy Murphy was disrespectful for weeks and weeks, and now
I
he's
don't
upset.
understand why you perpetually defend this nonsense. Why do you do this, John?
I'm trying to explain this.
Is that what you're trying to
Yeah.
do? But you don't believe that it's good or logical or sensical, right? You're just trying to explain it. Because a lot of times I'm like, "John, this is all nonsense." And then you're like, "Well, you see what they're trying to do here." I'm like, no, John, but you don't believe in this, do you?
I believe this is what they're trying to do.
Yeah, but do you believe it's a good... Like, is Aleister Black getting over?
I feel like he's becoming a good heel, actually. I feel people are going to actually hate him more because there's not a lot of things to like about Aleister Black. He's kind of a jerk.
But they're trying to make him a babyface.
Yeah, well, they tried to make Seth Rollins into a babyface. That didn't work too well.
Backfired.
Yeah.
Big time. Well, he kind of turned himself heel on Twitter.
I guess that too.
But that was his real personality. That was his real feelings coming out. And the whole world was like, "Yeah, you're a heel, Seth Rollins. We don't like you." I mean, not the whole world, but a lot of the wrestling population was like, what?
There was
What's
a
your
lot,
problem?
though. There was so much, though. I mean, there was resentment that he beat Brock twice, that he's like engaged to Becky. I'm sure a lot of people are jealous about that.
I was just more disturbed by his comments about him being the best wrestler in the world and how Will Ospreay's not that good. And I was just like, well, what are you talking about? It's like, first of all, there are many better wrestlers in the world than you. You're a very talented wrestler, but, you know, I think he started to believe his own hype. Like, he beat Brock Lesnar twice, and he thought he was really the best guy in all of wrestling. And it's like, well, that's not really how it works, Seth. It's a work, you understand? And you're okay at it. You're pretty good, you know, but you're not the best. And to say Will Ospreay's not that good is kind of weird because most people would say he's better than Seth, you know? So I think he took a lot of heat there, and I think he lost a lot of his momentum as a babyface there. I think also the fact that Dean Ambrose has become Jon Moxley and has become the top guy of the Shield. Like, at one point, Seth was the cool guy in the Shield. When Dean Ambrose was in the WWE, Seth was the cool one, right?
Kind of, whatever. I suppose you could say that.
But when Dean leaves and he becomes Jon Moxley and he's in AEW, all of a sudden, he's the cool one. Roman's always been kind of the corny guy. He's the corporate guy. He's the guy that WWE loves, and people see that, and people love him or hate him, whatever. Seth was kind of like the cool one, and Ambrose was like the other guy. But now Ambrose is the cool one, and Seth is kind of like, you know, the guy who's there, who's also kind of being pushed. He's like a second Roman now at this point, you know? Like,
Right.
People are kind of turning on Seth because, well, Roman's on one brand doing the Roman thing, being Superman, never losing, and just being unstoppable. And now here's Seth on the other brand just doing the same thing. So people resent that, you know? And for a lot of those reasons, we have the Seth Rollins full heel turn and the character that Seth Rollins is today. A lot of it based on real life and who Seth Rollins really is. Colby Lopez, you know, it's based on, you know, not really Seth Rollins turning heel, but Colby Lopez maybe being a heel. And now Seth Rollins turning heel because of it. And you're seeing that work, I think. Seth with the AOP, Seth as a heel. I think he's more natural as a heel, especially right now. Kevin Owens are trying to get him over as a babyface, and that's good. The reality-based stuff, when you feel like the audience is going one way, but the character's going another, well, you gotta change directions and bring that character in tune with the audience, and that's what they did. That's what they've been doing with Seth, and now finally they got it done this week. It was a little bit clunky, but they got it done, and I think that's the most important part.
To me, the most important part is that Kevin was right and Seth was lying the whole time.
No, but that's not what Seth said.
Yeah, but
No, Seth said, okay.
Seth's going to say what he wants.
Okay, well, no, but this is what the explanation was in the explanation promo. So Kevin Owens is backstage. He finds the AOP van, right? He starts smashing the AOP van with the lead pipe that Rey Mysterio gave him, right?
Right.
And then the AOP show up from behind the van, and they attack Kevin Owens, start beating him up. The back door of the van opens, and there's a man sitting on a chair in a hoodie. He's got his hood up. And the man then kind of, with his feet, turns around, and it looks really goofy. Like, it's supposed to be like an evil villain where you're in a chair and then you just spin around to reveal yourself. But that's not what it was. It was a man in a chair pushing himself with his feet to spin around, and it looked really funny. You know, it didn't look good. They should have shot it higher up so you didn't see Seth's feet, you know? It looked really dumb. And then Seth, yeah, go.
He watched Austin Powers too much and thought it was really cool, I guess, when Dr. Evil would do that.
Well, I mean, it's like a Bond villain thing,
right.
You know, but the guy is supposed to just spin around in the chair. The chair didn't spin. Seth had to, you know, walk around with his little feet.
Well, because
it was chair,
too tight.
It was too tight,
yeah.
The chair, yeah. It looked really dumb. And then Seth reveals himself to be like the evil guy with AOP, and they beat up Kevin Owens, and then he gets put on a stretcher and taken away to in an ambulance, right?
It's Vince all over again.
Yeah, it happens. It happens in WWE frequently, and then the guy is totally fine the next week. It happens a lot, right?
Oh, I meant it's the greater power. That's what I meant.
Oh yeah, the Vince. I thought you were talking about the ambulance thing because that happens constantly. It's
That
happened to
too.
Vince many times, right?
Kane.
Yeah, everybody takes the ambulance. Becky Lynch, everybody, right?
Right.
So Seth revealed himself as kind of the higher power of the AOP. It was very reminiscent of Vince revealing himself as the higher power in the corporate ministry. It was me, Austin. It was me all along. Seth even had that kind of face like, you know?
He said he was sorry, though.
Why? What? Did he?
Yeah, he said, I'm sorry, Kevin. Sorry I had to come to this. And then he gave him the...
Oh, yeah. He's like, I'm sorry I had to come to this. And then he curb stomped him on the cement floor, right? And then they didn't wait till the next week to explain why Seth Rollins did this. He comes out on the stage and decides to cut a promo and explain everything, which I thought was maybe a misstep by the WWE. They could have waited a week to do that explanation promo from Seth. He comes on and he's like, I know people are going to ask why. And he's like, why are the people not with me anymore? What happened to you people? What's wrong with you? I lay it all on the line in the ring and in the media, and I get disrespected for it. You know, he's talking about how he's taken a lot of heat lately. And it was a decent promo from Seth Rollins. He says, okay, John, this is what he said. He said that he had nothing to do with the AOP, but the people kept believing Kevin Owens, and he was sick of hearing the fans and everybody complaining and Kevin Owens, so he's like, fine, this week I'm going to join the AOP. Forget you people. And then the AOP come out, and then they walk out altogether. So Seth is saying that all this time when Kevin Owens was saying I was with the AOP, I was not with the AOP. When they beat up Kevin Owens and I wasn't there to help him, I had nothing to do with that. And when they didn't beat me up, I don't know why they didn't beat me up. And when I challenged them to a fight like last week or 2 weeks ago on Raw, that was real, and I really wanted to fight them. And I don't know why they didn't come out and fight me, which is very suspicious. Like, okay, maybe Seth wasn't with the AOP, but the AOP clearly likes Seth Rollins, right? Like they were clearly being like, hey, Seth, you're cool, because they had the opportunity to beat up Seth when they beat up Kevin, and they decided to let him go free for no particular reason. So Seth's explanation doesn't really make a lot of sense. Like, why was the AOP letting you go? They just thought you were cool? So the AOP thought Seth was cool, so they decide to, be cool to Seth and not beat him up when they're beating up everybody around him. And then Seth is like, tired of people thinking he's with the AOP, so he's just like, forget it, I'll just join the AOP. And then the AOP are like, okay, cool, Seth, you're our new leader, we love you so much. It's really weak. It's flimsy. Why couldn't Seth be like, yeah, you know what? Kevin Owens was right. I was with the AOP all along. They're my guys, and together we're going to run roughshod over the WWE, and Kevin Owens is never going to come back. I put him in the hospital, and if he does come back, we're going to put him back in the hospital, and bada bing, bada boom, you're out, promo over. Like, it's not that complicated. I don't understand why Seth had to say, like, I wasn't with them, but now I am, because I just decided, because you guys are all jerks, and Kevin Owens kept saying I was. So, it's like, okay, well, Seth Rollins, Kevin Owens should say that you're going to quit the WWE. Because if he says it, eventually, maybe you'll do it. Because apparently, that's how it works with Seth Rollins. If you tell him that he's going to do something, even if it's a lie, eventually he will do it. Seth Rollins, I challenge you. I think that you're going to leave Becky Lynch. How about that? Eventually you'll do it because I just said that you're going to do it. Like, what? It doesn't make a lot of sense. It's not a great way to turn heel. Why couldn't Seth have just accepted responsibility and said, yes, I'm an evil guy. I've been with AOP this whole time. I tried to trick you. Guess it didn't work. Too bad. I didn't need to trick you because Kevin Owens, he thought I was with the AOP anyways, and he still got beat up. So, ha-ha, Kevin Owens. Even though you thought you could outsmart me, I still outsmarted you. Kevin Owens thought he had it all figured out, and he did, and he still got beat up. Right? I mean, that's a good promo. That's fine.
That's pretty much what happened. Kevin said this 3-on-1 beating was going to happen, and it eventually happened. That's all you really had to explain, and that's the meat and potatoes of it all.
But what about not being with them?
Oh, what?
And then deciding he was with them.
That's just whatever drama Seth Rollins likes to bring up to make himself feel good about himself. Like, that's garbage.
Like, he was the good guy, but they pushed him to this.
Okay, sure. Fine.
right? That's the portrayal of the Seth Rollins character. I was a good guy, but it's your fault. Like, you people made me do this. I didn't want to join the AOP, but you guys are such jerks to me, I guess I have to.
Owen Hart did it way better. Enough is enough. It's time for a change. It's way better.
Owen Hart did everything way better than Seth Rollins in every single way. Look, promo, wrestling, like Owen Hart is a million times better than Seth Rollins, even though he's going to kick your leg out of your leg. Didn't he say that once in a promo? Brett, I'm going to kick your leg out of your leg.
Yeah, well, Seth Rollins did the same thing too. Remember John Cena? Tuck your leg in between your leg. Remember Seth Rollins said that.
Oh, there you go.
There you go.
He's a wannabe Owen Hart. He wishes he was as good as Owen Hart. Kevin Owens. Speaking of Owens, he's not booked for TLC, which is disappointing.
Well, he got stretchered out, so yeah, he's out.
Yeah.
That's the angle, unfortunately. And Seth Rollins can't wrestle because his hand was taped. So there's no match.
I'll tell you who is booked for TLC, the Viking Raiders. But who will be their challengers at TLC? We'll try and figure that out. We'll also talk about what should be the main event of this card, the Kabuki Warriors against Becky Lynch and Charlotte Flair, and Rusev and Bobby Lashley, and, of course, some big shows coming up for AEW and NXT, the last shows of the year for both Dynamite and NXT. We'll preview those shows when we come back. It is Wrestling Uncensored. Little pause for the radio side. Stay with us. Yeah, we're still here. Commercial time. We got to read commercials, John.
You got to read commercials.
All right, I'll read commercials. How about that? Where do we start? Stitcher?
Yeah, do the opposite. Yeah.
Stitcher. All right, we'll start with Stitcher, okay? We've been producing podcasts for over 15 years, and many of you have used Stitcher to either stream or download the show, Wrestling Uncensored, the MMA show, Ringside Report, What's Fandom in Japan, what have you. Stitcher offering you the Ringside Report universe as part of the sponsorship with the show, a special offer on premium service of Stitcher Premium. So besides all of our podcasts, you can listen to over 100,000 other shows on your iPhone, Android, tablet, PC, Amazon Echo, or however else you listen to Stitcher. It's ad-free with Stitcher Premium. You get Joe Rogan Experience, Something to Wrestle with Bruce Pritchard, the Mark Maron podcast, MMA fighting, and so much more. You also get Stitcher Originals, bonus episodes, comedy albums. It's just $4.99 a month or $34.99 a year. What you want to do is you go to Stitcher.com/premium. You sign up right now, and you use the special promo code RINGSIDE for a free month. So it's $4.99 a month, $34.99 a year. But when you go to Stitcher.com/premium right now and you sign up with the promo code RINGSIDE, you get a month free. Pretty good. That's a good deal. We got deals here. I feel like Don West. I got all the deals.
You have another deal coming up.
Got another deal here for you. This one brought to you by IP Vanish. Of course, we've been telling you about IP Vanish to secure yourself on the internet. The people at IP Vanish, they want to make it easier for you in this holiday period for your friends and family. IP Vanish consistently tests as one of the fastest VPNs in the industry, so you never have to worry about lag or latency. They've got their new gadgets, and you can help protect all of them. Tell them, or better yet, gift your family members or your friends IP Vanish for securing connected devices from third-party interference. You don't want that interference. You don't want to get hacked. You need IP Vanish. And now, any user visiting IP Vanish from December 20th to January 2nd can save up to 73% on a VPN plan. So IP Vanish, this will be starting on December 20th. IP Vanish for as low as $325 a month. It's a ridiculous deal for IP Vanish. Just for you. It's a secure VPN, and they can truly keep your internet activity secure, especially if you're using your phone or your computer on public Wi-Fi, on a hotspot, at a coffee shop, or at a shopping mall or something like that. You're using that public Wi-Fi, you need IP Vanish to stay secure. Otherwise, it could get risky out there on the internet. You want to be preparing yourself, and securing yourself. It's a great benefit for listeners and viewers of the Ringside Report network. You stream live sports. When you establish a connection to an IPVanish server, it'll mask your IP address. It's as though you're using the internet from your server's location. IPVanish is available as user-friendly software for all your devices, Windows, Mac OS, Android iOS, and Fire TV. If you sign up for a subscription that includes a 7-day money-back guarantee using our link, the Ringside Report Network will receive a small commission that'll help us produce more content for you. Open another browser right now, another browser window. You keep listening to us, open a new tab, and you go to vpn.ringsidereport.net and you sign up today. vpn.ringsidereport.net. Go sign up to IPVanish. You will not regret it. Stay safe, stay secure, stay anonymous on the internet. You don't want people to hack you, right? Hacking is bad. IPVanish.
It definitely can be. What's Fire TV?
Amazon Fire TV. It's like a Fire Stick. I have 2 of them.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
Cool.
There you go. Question answered. It's like a stick that you plug into your TV, and there's like apps and stuff, you know?
Oh, nice.
Yeah. It's a good thing. It's useful. Watch pay-per-views on that.
I could imagine, yeah.
That's right. That's how we watch our UFC pay-per-views here when we do our watch-alongs using the Fire Stick. Fire
Cool.
TV.
Cool.
Amazon Fire. Fire!
Into the fire.
Should we get back to the show?
Let's do it.
Let's do it! All right, welcome back. It is Wrestling Uncensored. I'm Dave Simon. He is Johnny North. RingsideReport.net is where you want to go to download every show that we do on iTunes, on Google Play, on Stitcher, on YouTube. You can watch every show that we do, including Wrestling Uncensored, including Ringside Report, MMA. All the info is on our website, www.ringsidereport.net. And if you want, you can follow us as well. Follow me at Dave Simon MMA on Instagram and Twitter. Follow Johnny, North Genesis on Twitter. Genesis Johnny North on Instagram. And I know, Johnny, you live tweet a lot of these wrestling shows that you're watching. I'm always following your Twitter feed whenever you're watching AEW Dark or NWA Power or a Montreal Canadiens hockey game or whatever else you're watching. You're always doing these live tweets. I don't always understand what you're talking about because you don't really explain what's happening. You just leave your comment on whatever is going on your TV at the time. But if you're not watching the same thing you're watching and you're just seeing your tweets, it could get a little confusing. But hey, if you're watching the same thing as Johnny North, it's always great to watch your Twitter feed while you're watching, say, AEW Dark on a Tuesday night. Watch Johnny's Twitter and watch AEW Dark with Johnny.
For me, it's just more like notes. It's like, okay, this happened. I don't remember exactly when it happened, but I remember it happened, so this kind of stood out. So, yeah, tweet that out.
Little notes, little tidbits from Johnny's mind.
Pretty much.
The mind of Johnny. Great wrestling mind here, Big Johnny. We're going to talk about your next wrestling matches coming up in a little bit. But before we do, I want to wrap up our TLC preview, a couple more matches that we didn't get to. The New Day defending the SmackDown tag titles against The Revival. I don't expect a title change here. I think New Day wins.
Well, New Day won the titles from The Revival. I don't think they're just going to flip it again. It's too much.
Yeah. New Day wins. New Day rocks. Kofi, right now is tag team champion. I think he should just have a nice long run where he's just unbeatable.
I guess. I mean, it's something what they're doing, but it's not great.
Think Kofi becomes WWE champion again?
I think he'll get a shot. I don't think he'll win it, though.
Universal champion?
Well, that's it. He'll get the shot probably against The Fiend. I don't think he's going to beat The Fiend.
You think he'll get a shot against The Fiend? I don't think he's going to get a shot against The Fiend because, we're heading towards the Royal Rumble here. Kofi's still in a tag team, still tag team champion. I don't see him facing The Fiend at the Rumble. I don't see him facing The Fiend at Mania. I think Mania is when Roman gets The Fiend and Roman beats The Fiend.
Right.
So Kofi doesn't get a shot against The Fiend.
Well, we got 2 pay-per-views before that. We have the Elimination Chamber right after the Rumble.
What about Daniel Bryan, though? He's going to be involved.
Okay, but the Elimination Chamber. Like, you have to put a lot of people in there. So
Maybe Kofi gets a shot there,
yeah, exactly.
but it's not really one-on-one. A
I
featured.
didn't say 1-on-1.
He's just in there.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I said, do you think Kofi wins the title again? I didn't say gets a shot at the title in some sort of 6-man match.
He gets the shot. That's it. That's all I said.
So you don't think he'll win the title again?
Heck no. Too
Ever?
bad. Nah, I don't think so.
Never.
Unless like injuries happen again and like the stars align like they kind of did last time, I don't think it's gonna happen.
Who will the Viking Raiders defend against here? They have an open challenge. They had an open challenge last week on Raw. They beat up the Street Profits. Will the Street Profits try again? And if not, who's left on Raw?
Well, what team says they're the best tag team?
Oh, right, the OC.
Exactly. So I think it's a
That'd
no-brainer.
be a good match.
It's a no-brainer. That's definitely the OC.
Cool. That's a good one. I like that. Do they win?
I don't know about that. It's a good question. I don't know. I'd love to see the OC win, but I don't know if they're going to win.
AJ lost the U.S. title. You want to keep the OC relevant. AJ's not booked. Maybe AJ helps them win the titles, and then they do something with AJ and the OC and the tag team titles. Maybe AJ, they do like a New Day type thing, Freebird rule, where AJ can defend the titles too.
I don't see it happening. Like for some reason, like the OC, they're around, they're in the mix, but they don't always win. Like you saw at Survivor Series, they're in that tag match and like tag battle royal, and they lost to just a bunch of nobodies.
Yeah.
So they're kind of just thrown in these positions where like, oh, we have something we got to do. The OC could fit here. Good. Not going to win though.
All right. So the Viking Raiders retain the tag team titles. Expected to anyways. I guess that does make sense because down the road, I think you kind of want to do Viking Raiders. They're a babyface team against the AOP.
Exactly.
Right? Because the AOP seem to be the guys you want to push. Maybe put the titles around them if you're going to put them on a heel tag team off the Raiders, right?
Do we wait till WrestleMania for that? I think it's a little too much.
I don't think so. I think you do it before.
Hopefully at the Rumble.
Maybe by the Rumble. Maybe even before the Rumble.
Well, I'm thinking Rumble, Chamber, whatever, but yeah, something like that.
I could see them doing it on December 30th in Hartford on Raw.
Wow, it's quick. Okay.
Hartford, man. Hartford, Connecticut. It's kind of home base for WWE. They like doing big shows there.
Just Seth's not going to be the WWE champion anytime soon, so do you really need to put the titles quickly on AOP? I don't think so.
Okay. I don't know. I think you elevate them by giving them the titles, but it's not necessary. How about Rusev versus Bobby Lashley in a tables match? Does Rusev get Rusev Machka revenge?
Yeah, Rusev gets the win. This is his big push right now, so yeah, he wins.
This is his big push. You fully believe Rusev is going to go on after beating Lashley to take on Brock Lesnar at the Royal Rumble?
I think so, yes.
I'm not sure that's going to happen.
It's him or Randy. I want Rusev instead.
Randy makes more sense.
It's funny how you're picking Randy. I'm not picking Randy, but yeah, that's the way it's going. I think Rusev right now, just because of the momentum he has, run with it.
Randy's a bigger star. He's more credible. He's got history with Brock.
He does, but
he wanted to wrestle Brock at Mania. Give him Brock at the Rumble.
We've been there, done that. I want to see Rusev get thrown around.
Unnecessary. I'd do Randy, but whatever. They might go with Rusev for Brock at the Rumble. And we both expect Rusev to beat Lashley here, although if they want to continue this thing, which they might because they love stretching things out beyond belief. A lot of people are talking about the Lana, Rusev, Bobby Lashley angle, not positively, but at least people are talking about it. They're featuring it heavily every single week. I'd be surprised if they dropped it now. I could see Lashley winning and then having them continue going forward.
I think no matter who wins or loses, I think this keeps going. But in the meantime, Rusev will also get a shot at Brock.
Maybe. I'm not convinced of that, Johnny North. Kabuki Warriors defending the WWE Tag Team titles. A lot of people call them the Women's Tag Team titles, but I call them the WWE Tag Team titles because, there's Raw titles, SmackDown titles. Why not just call them the WWE Tag Team titles? What's the problem here? Kabuki Warriors defending against Becky Lynch and Charlotte Flair in a TLC match, a traditional table, ladder, and chair match. I think this is going to steal the show. This should be the main event. This is the one that I'm looking forward to. I'm not really looking forward to any other match on this card. This is the one where I'm like, I must see this. Everything else, I could miss. I'm going to watch it, of course. You could watch along with us on Sunday night watching TLC, as we do every WWE pay-per-view on the YouTube channel. But I'm not really hyped for this pay-per-view other than this TLC match.
So do we get new tag champs here or not?
No.
How come?
Because the Kabuki Warriors are the best. Asuka's got the mist. It's not time. Becky and Charlotte can't get along as a team. Why drop the titles so quick for the Kabuki Warriors? I feel like they haven't really done much.
They've actually had titles for quite a while now, a couple months now.
Yeah, but they haven't done much with them.
There's not a lot of teams for them to feud with. At least this, like, they lose, they can always try to win them back.
Okay. So you think they're going to lose?
I wouldn't be surprised if they want to make Charlotte a champion. That always seems like it'd be like an idea they want to do.
Yeah, so then you have to stick Charlotte and Becky together again as tag team champions.
Right? I wouldn't be surprised just because it's something different. They haven't done this yet.
Becky 2 belts again.
That's a good thing.
It could set up Becky versus Asuka one-on-one. I know Becky's been wanting that.
I think that should happen no matter what, win or loss in either side in this one. That should happen at the Rumble, but I could easily see Charlotte and Becky win this match.
I don't know. I'm going to go with the Kabuki Warriors.
I'll go against you.
But I'm on the fence. I'm not too sure. I think this is going to be match of the night, though.
Oh, yeah, without question. It should be.
Should be awesome. Like, I'm very excited for this. That elbow drop that Kairi Sane gave to Becky Lynch through the table this week on Raw was phenomenal.
Well, let's remember, I think it was it last year? Was it Asuka versus Becky versus Charlotte?
Was that last year at TLC?
Was that?
And that was amazing.
And Asuka won that one.
Yes, she did.
So
It's Asuka's turn again to win. Asuka wins these matches.
No, it's a turn to lose this time. That's the way it works.
You know me. I'm always Team Asuka.
I guess.
I'm always with the Kabuki Warriors, Asuka, Kairi Sane. They're my favorites. I love their promos. I love their matches. I love everything about them. I love their attitude. I love their new music. Kabuki Warriors are my favorite.
I think it was a great moment when Asuka won last year. I wasn't expecting that. We all thought I think Charlotte was going to win. But thankfully she won, and she had a decent reign. But Charlotte did eventually end that reign. Feels like it could happen again here.
It could. You know, Charlotte Flair winning titles makes a lot of sense. She hasn't held the tag team titles yet. Neither has Becky Lynch. So, you know, eventually they're going to get hold of them. Why not now? I suppose. All right. We saw some stuff on Monday Night Raw this week that I wanted to briefly get to. The Drew McIntyre promo on Matt Hardy making fun of Matt's new kid and saying that Matt hasn't made the best decisions outside of the ring, so he shouldn't procreate just in case some of the Hardys follow in Daddy's footsteps. Like, man, that was some rough promo there from Drew McIntyre. That was really just for a short match where Matt Hardy got beat up, hit with a Claymore kick, and pinned. Kind of a rough outing there for Matt Hardy.
Well, they're pretty much just jobbing him out at this point, Matt. It seems.
Burying him.
A little bit. Well, they have to devalue him before he goes to another company, so they're trying to make the most of that.
That looks like what they're doing, isn't it?
Pretty much. Sadly.
It's ugly.
Well, that's their business, you know. Make you look bad.
Boo. I don't like it at all. I didn't like the Jerry Lawler, Rusev, Lana, Bobby Lashley thing. Lashley says he's going to marry Lana. Good luck with that. Rusev's fine with it. They argued about who gets the dog. Rusev told her to shut up. Whatever. It was not great.
I was happy when it was over.
Yeah, I was glad it was done. Elsewhere, you know, they had that Viking Raiders Street Profits match. That was all right. The Seth Rollins thing. Sami Zayn showing up on Raw for some reason for Mojo Rawley to defend Mojo as Mojo's manager. Is Sami going to be on Raw now as a manager? He said he's got a manager's license so he can show up on either show. Is that going to happen more regularly with Sami Zayn, you think? Or just one time with Mojo to do that angle where Kevin Owens beat up Mojo?
Well, I think this is great for Sami Zayn if he's on both shows. Great exposure for him. But it's just kind of sad where it just goes to show you a lot of guys can't cut promos, so they need to bring in someone else from another show to do the promos for them.
Yeah, like they didn't trust Mojo to go out there and do it. They're like, we need Sammy for this.
It's pretty bad.
Not good. How about Humberto Carrillo beating Andrade after Andrade bumped Zelina Vega off the apron, and Humberto got a little roll up there. Andrade got mad at Zelina after the match. Is this the end of Zelina and Andrade?
It's one bump in the road. I don't think it's the end. I mean, go on a losing streak and then we'll talk. I mean, you lose one match, it's the end of the world? I don't think so.
Okay, so you don't think it's going to be...
Again, go on a losing streak and then, yeah, of course. But
okay.
One match? No.
So this isn't the beginnings of Andrade finally joining with Charlotte on TV?
It's interesting. I don't see that coming, but that'd be a nice surprise, I suppose. Good for them.
I want it to happen. Andrade, Charlotte, Zelina, Aleister Black, all one big faction.
I don't need to be a faction, but...
Faction!
Realignment, whatever.
Satisfaction. Becky Lynch beat the Kabuki Warriors by disqualification when Asuka hit Becky with a chair. So the Warriors were able to beat Charlotte last week, but they couldn't beat Becky this week.
Well, they didn't lose, really.
Disqualification. I mean, they won last week.
Right.
This week, they, lost by disqualification technically, but then Kairi Sane putting Becky through a table from the top rope to the outside with an elbow drop. Was that the best table spot in the women's division this week, or was it the Mia Yim Dakota Kai deal on NXT? Did you see that thing?
I saw that.
The belly-to-back suplex off the production table through another table in the crowd. That was nuts. And that was, like, on the floor. Like, the table, at least Becky had the mats outside the ring to cushion her fall a bit through that table. But Dakota Kai got suplexed through a table onto the floor. That was rough stuff on NXT this week. That match was good, but the post-match stuff was nuts.
That was a rough spot, but I feel the Sane and Becky one, it just looked better. It looked flashier, and the table exploded so well when she landed on Becky.
Yeah.
I liked it better.
That elbow drop is beautiful.
Well, just the way it landed, it was perfect.
Her elbow drop is so nice. It might be the nicest elbow drop since the Macho Man. Have you seen anybody hit a nicer elbow drop from the top rope than Kairi Sane since Macho Man Randy Savage?
Off the top of my head, I can't think of anyone who had a great elbow drop, but I'm pretty sure there have been a couple of guys.
Ooh, yeah. I don't think anybody's hit a nicer one. Like, Punk did one, Bayley does one. Not many people do the top rope elbow.
Right.
And theirs isn't anywhere near as nice as Kairi Sane's. Kairi Sane, the insane elbow, is beautiful.
Well, I like Shane's effort. I mean, it's not the greatest elbow drop in the world.
It's not as pretty as Kairi Sane's.
No, but he's done some pretty crazy elbows from high distance.
Yeah.
High heights.
Shawn Michaels, too, had a really nice elbow drop.
That's true.
Shawn's was better than Shane's. I also like Bret Hart's elbow drop, the second rope one, but that's not top rope. It's different.
Yeah, it's different, yeah.
But Shawn had a really nice top rope elbow drop that he did a lot off the top through the announce table.
Ladders even, he did off top of ladders, yeah.
Shawn's elbow drop was a thing of beauty as well. But, that's Shawn Michaels. Kairi Sane in some pretty good company there with elbow drops, Shawn Michaels and Macho Man Savage.
Well, he's trained them, right? So.
Yeah, well, Kairi had that elbow drop before she came to WWE.
Okay.
That wasn't taught by Shawn Michaels. That's a Japanese original there by the Kabuki Warrior, Kairi Sane. So we're talking about NXT. They've got a big show coming up on Wednesday night, their final show of the year. It will be Finn Balor challenging Adam Cole for the NXT Championship, and Rhea Ripley challenging Shayna Baszler for the NXT Women's title. If you watch Dave and Johnny live, I made my case for Finn Balor becoming the new NXT champion. I really think Finn should and will become the new NXT champion, taking it away from Adam Cole. Finn had a really good match with Keith Lee and Tommaso Ciampa this week in the main event of NXT, a triple threat. That finish was beautiful, with Keith Lee picking up Ciampa for the powerbomb, and then Finn, as Lee sits down for the powerbomb, Finn jumping off the top rope, hitting his double stomp on Keith Lee, inches away from Tommaso Ciampa. The precision of that was just incredible, and that's how he's able to get the pin on Keith Lee. What a finish. Like, Lee takes out Ciampa with that powerbomb, and then Finn is right there, but boom, instantly, the timing, the execution, just, My goodness, Finn Balor. What an athlete. What an incredible wrestling talent. That finish takes some kind of skill to pull off.
Finn's an amazing talent. Extraordinary man, right? That's the
Yeah.
whole thing about him. It was a very good match. Very great back and forth, like three-way. It was really good.
It was really good.
But I still think Adam Cole's going to win, though, on Wednesday.
I do not. Johnny North, we're sitting here last week talking about Finn Balor, Keith Lee, and Tommaso Ciampa. Your winner was?
Keith Lee.
My winner was?
Finn.
Who won?
Finn won.
Go with Finn.
No, I'm not
Stick
going
with
Finn.
me. Stick with Finn.
No, I'll go with Adam Cole.
Da-da-da-da.
With the guns pointing, like...
Yeah, Finn Balor. Too sweet.
Not so much.
I'm going with Finn. I think Finn becomes new NXT champion. I think Shayna will defend and beat Rhea Ripley, though.
Wow. It's very shocking.
I'm Team Finn and Team Shayna.
Like, I think Rhea, I think she has a great shot of winning this one.
Whoa, so you're going the other way on both matches here. NXT is going to be fun to watch on Wednesday night. The final NXT of the year. Final NXT of the decade, brother.
Though it might be a screwy kind of thing where maybe she beats Shayna, but it won't be like, it'll be like a DQ or whatever. Dirty finish. So I can see her maybe not win the championship yet.
I don't think she's going to win the title. I'm going to go with Shayna, and I'm going to go with Finn, new NXT champion. Elsewhere on NXT this week, I really like the Breezango Singh brothers match. Like, Breezango was on another level. That apron bomb that he did to the Singh brother,
Right.
man. Fandango was like really going hard this week on NXT. I like the new Breezango. They've got like a sexy doctor gimmick going on. It's good. I like them. They're really talented wrestlers, and they really turned it up this week against the Singh brothers. Like, the Singh brothers are great bumpers too. That's another thing. Like,
It is.
they take ridiculous falls. Like, I'm sure they're like, yep, give me that, give me this, give me that, because they just go 100%. The Singh brothers are some of the most underappreciated talents in all of the WWE. They're starting to get appreciated now because they've got a gimmick and they got a little look going for them. They got something going. But, man, those guys, was it Randy that did some stuff? Randy,
Yes.
obliterated those guys. When he was feuding with Jinder Mahal,
Yes.
Randy just, tore those guys apart. One of them fell off a Hell in a Cell, didn't he?
I think it was the Punjabi prison.
But one of them fell off that thing.
Yeah.
It was big fall.
Through a table.
Yeah. Those guys are fantastic bumpers, and in that match this week, you could tell, they were going. That match is really worth watching. When they came out, I was like, yeah, Breezango against Singh Brothers, whatever. And then it started, the bell rang, and I was like, oh my goodness, these guys are going hard.
Yeah, that was very good for Breezango. However, again, like you said, the rest of the Singh brothers. Let's see them against top-tier competition. I haven't seen that from, they had a great match there, but everything else has been very meh. So let's see what you do against the others.
Some other matches on NXT that really didn't get me that excited. There was kind of a chunk of NXT that was kind of
It's like this every week.
not great. It was fine. It wasn't, but it just wasn't exciting. It was Raul Mendoza getting a win over Cameron Grimes, and you're like, who? And I'm like, yeah, I don't know. And Kushida shows up, and he's got a feud with Cameron Grimes. He took his hat after the match. Grimes is the guy with the hairy chest who shows up in a hat. What's his gimmick? I'm not really sure.
Used to be Trevor Lee in Impact.
Okay. Travis Banks, whoever that is, beat Jackson Riker, whoever that is, one of the Forgotten Sons, and I keep forgetting about them every single week.
Busted his eye,
I forget
too.
that they exist. Yeah, Travis Banks' eye was busted up really bad. That was a stiff match. That Jackson Riker looks scary and dangerous. He looks nasty. He's a big, jacked, scary-looking dude. And apparently he hits hard.
Not safe.
Yeah, real stiffsky, brother. But that chunk, those two matches back-to-back, it was kind of hey, if I'm in the United States, I'm going to AEW.
Yeah, but NXT's always like this. I feel like they start off strong, and then there's a bunch of filler, and then we'll have a good match maybe top of the hour, and then more filler, and then finally a good main event.
I mean, they started with a Cruiserweight title match. Angel Garza won the Cruiserweight title, beat Leo Rush. And then the rest of it, I think you can argue, was mostly filler until the main event of Finn, Keith Lee, and Tommaso Ciampa. Like, you had Bianca Belair against Caden Carter. Who's Caden Carter? I don't know. Bianca won. Breezango and the Singh brothers was a really great match, but they're not superstars that you're really hyped. It's not a match that has a lot of heat. Dakota Kai and Mia Yim, I mean, they have a feud. Dakota Kai winds up winning after Yim bumped into the exposed turnbuckle. The suplex after the match was cool, but it's kind of like, I don't know if people are really hyped about seeing that one. And then you have the Mendoza, Grimes, and Banks and Riker. Like, NXT this week was not as good as AEW. I thought AEW had a better show this week.
Well, going back to the Mia Yim Dakota Kai match, like, the referee saw the exposed turnbuckle.
Yeah.
Like, how is that not a DQ?
I don't know.
I hate when they just ignore the rules.
Well, I mean, Jackson Riker kicked out at 3. Like, he was Jackson Riker's shoulders were off the mat for most of that pin. I don't know why he lost.
Well, I think he was supposed to lose. That's why.
Yeah, but
I think he just was supposed to kick out.
How did the ref not see that his shoulders was up? I mean, come on. His shoulder was up. It didn't look good.
Well, it just goes to show you, AEW can screw up on the rules, and so can NXT.
Yeah. John Moxley beat a jabroni on AEW this week in the fastest squash in AEW history. That opened up the show.
Not a jabroni, actually. He's more of a tag team wrestler.
Is he?
John Reynolds, I think.
I don't know.
He's with another guy. They were an actual tag team. And they showed up in the Dark Order promo afterwards.
Oh, he's the other half of the Beaver Boys.
Yes.
Oh, okay, the Beaver Boys. Yeah, we'll talk about the Beaver Boys in a minute. So Moxley wrestled a guy, and then the Inner Circle showed up with Chris Jericho. I really liked how they surrounded the ring, and then Jericho walked in the ring because he wanted to cut a promo on Moxley, but he didn't want Moxley to attack him, so he had his guys kind of watch his back. I thought that was really good, and Jericho offered Moxley a spot in the Inner Circle, and he talked about his history with Moxley, you know, hitting him with the potted plants when he's Dean Ambrose and all that kind of stuff. And Jericho put an Inner Circle shirt on Moxley's shoulder and told him to think it over the holidays. So maybe Moxley joins the Inner Circle. Probably not, right?
Definitely not.
Probably not. He didn't seem like he wanted to, but he didn't attack Jericho. He didn't seem like he wanted to cause trouble either. So you never know here with AEW. The Butcher and the Blade with the Bunny beat Cody and QT Marshall.
The Bunny did not wrestle, by the way.
Well, no, but she was with them, you know. She's part of the package, the deal there.
Yeah.
Marshall took the pin, of course. Darby Allin showed up after the match and kind of helped Cody to his feet. So Cody obviously is in some sort of tag team feud as well as his feud with MJF. And he's going to continue feuding with the Butcher and the Blade. And I guess Darby Allin will be his partner. Maybe, I'm thinking this match will happen on January 1st, AEW in Jacksonville. It'll be the Butcher and the Blade versus Cody and Darby.
You know, there was a lot of hype on the Butcher and the Blade, but it felt very generic, the match. Wasn't anything like, wow, I wasn't blown away.
No.
And maybe they just wanted to play it safe, their first match, maybe kind of nerves. I get that. But your prime time, got to really stand out.
But I'd rather watch that than Raul Mendoza and Cameron Grimes, which was probably going on at the same time, though, right?
I think it probably was. I'm not sure.
At least you got Cody Rhodes in the match, you know? And a new tag team that you haven't seen.
Cody was fantastic in that match. Cody made me care about that match.
Cody did some stuff, like some high-flying stuff. I was like, whoa, he's adding to his arsenal.
Well, Cody can also wrestle, too. Like, that's a great thing about Cody. He's so diverse in what he can do. It's fantastic.
He's getting better and better, which is really impressive to see, the progression of Cody Rhodes. MJF and Wardlow cut a really good in-ring promo. MJF mocking Cody's hair and his teeth and his lisp. And he says that on January 1st in Jacksonville, he's going to set the stipulations for the match. A lot of the promo was kind of bleeped out, though. I couldn't hear a lot of it because the crowd was chanting expletive-laden chants at MJF.
Right.
So they were censoring, like, all the audio, but I couldn't hear MJF.
Right.
MJF swore, too. Everybody's swearing in AEW.
I thought compared to the Cody promo last week, this was kind of, like, weak. It wasn't great. Like, Cody threw some really good shots at him. Talk about the botched crossroads and everything. And, like, I found MJF had nothing. Insults how he looks. Like, that's nothing great.
Yeah, it wasn't as good as Cody's promo. But I thought it was still a good promo.
It was all right, but it's like, well, you're the heel. You can really say some really horrible things, and it wasn't anything special.
Then we saw Alex from the Beaver Boys.
Yes.
Your favorite tag team, the Beaver Boys. I was like, who are these guys? And he's in his hotel room, and the Dark Order pitchman appears on his TV and tries to recruit him to the Dark Order, and the Beaver Boy isn't really sure if he's really seeing it or it's some sort of delusion. So I guess the Dark Order is recruiting jobbers. I saw Being the Elite, Michael Nakazawa seemed interested in joining the Dark Order.
Wow.
So maybe they're going to be a bigger group and have some of these jobbers from AEW like the Beaver Boys and Michael Nakazawa maybe.
Well, he's not doing anything, so why not?
Yeah. Are you tired of losing? Join the Dark Order. I thought this week's Dark Order promo was the best one that they've done so far, with the pitchman appearing on the TV and the Beaver Boy selling it. I thought it was really good.
Yeah, so far it's better, but it's still not much of anything still, because nothing's happened yet. No one really joined.
Yeah. Unlike Brandy's group, she's got a lady that she got from the crowd that has joined the Nightmare Society or whatever she's called.
Nightmare Collective.
Nightmare Collective. So she's got a lady that she shaved her head. She's got Awesome Kong, of course, as her big backup. And now she's got a dude whose head she shaved as well.
Yeah, we don't know who this
But we don't know
is.
who the dude is. It's a mystery dude in her faction. Could it be Dustin Rhodes?
I don't think so.
I don't think it was Dustin. Who's the dude?
He seemed kind of fat.
Yeah, maybe too big for Dustin.
Yeah.
Who is he?
I don't know. Probably somebody we haven't seen
Somebody
yet.
new.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, Brandy's got a new dude, a mystery dude that was revealed this week. You know, she's got somebody. We don't know who it is. Big Swole beat Emi Sakura. I thought the match was all right.
That was Big Swole's first win. She always lost. She was a jobber pretty much. The fact that she got that win, that's really impressive.
I like Big Swole, but I don't really get her name. She's not that big, and she's not that swole. Like, she's in good shape, but she's not, super jacked. Swole means, you're jacked. Like, Scott Steiner was swole, you know? Big E is swole. But Big Swole is, in very good shape. She's pretty jacked, but she's not, super muscle-bound.
You have to watch Dark this week. They had this great package pretty much explaining her character and everything about her.
Oh, okay. Well, I missed that. I'll watch that this week. I don't really get the name, but I guess I have to watch to find out. They didn't explain it to me on Dynamite. Hangman Page and Kenny Omega getting the win over Kip Sabian and Shawn Spears. I thought that was all right. The lights went out at one point during the match. Joey Janela showing up, who had tied up Tully Blanchard, and then Janela and Spears brawled to the back. So it was basically 2-on-1 Hangman and Kenny against Kip, and they got the win.
See, that's it. There's a lot of cold matches on NXT. At least with AEW, this match, not a lot to it, but at least something happens at the end of it. There's at least some story to it.
Yeah, and there's something happening. There's a storyline with Joey Janela. You know, there's not just the match that's happening. There's outside things going on. There's different angles going on at once. Like Cody Rhodes, for example. Of course, he's kind of the centerpiece of the company, but he's feuding with two different groups right now. He's feuding with the Blade and the Bunny and the Butcher, and he's also feuding with MJF and Wardlow by extension.
It always feels like there's so much action going on in AEW, because I guess there has to be, so you care for the show.
Feels like every match has something happen. You know, Sammy Guevara wrestled Luchasaurus. Jericho and Jake Hager were on commentary for that. They kicked Excalibur and Tony Schiavone off the commentary team. I like that Jericho called him Schiavone again, a throwback to Lionheart Jericho back in the 90s. Luchasaurus gets the win over Sammy Guevara, and then Jericho and Hager, they attack Luchasaurus after the match, and then all hell breaks loose because Jungle Boy shows up. He and Jericho start brawling, and then Luchasaurus and Hager, they start brawling, and Jungle Boy rolls up Jericho, and Marco Stunt shows up, and he counts to 3, plays the referee, kind of hyping up the match. Next week, Jericho and Jungle Boy kind of showing you, hey, maybe Jungle Boy can get a win in a non-title match against Le Champion. Of course, it's a non-title match because Jungle Boy, he doesn't have a super good winning record, so he doesn't deserve a title shot. But he gets a match with Jericho.
But they've also pushed that it's only a 10-minute time limit match.
I said last week when they said that and Jericho said he couldn't go 10 minutes, the whole thing of this match is going to be a time limit draw. They're going to go 10 minutes, and that's it. It's going to end in 10 minutes. Time limit draw.
But the thing is, you can't even last 10 minutes. So if he lasts 10 minutes...
It's a win.
Yeah, it's still a win for Jungle Boy.
Yeah, he wins by getting a draw.
Exactly.
Yeah. It's like Quintet Ultra.
Well, this happened with Sami Zayn and Braun Strowman a couple years ago.
Yeah. It's good.
Same
It's
thing.
not like Darby Allin when he wrestled Cody and he went to a time limit draw. The fact that he didn't lose
Right.
was looked at as a win. It's like, oh, Darby Allin's legit. Cody couldn't beat him in 30 minutes or whatever it was.
They're probably going to try to do this again. But
I think they should.
I can see Jungle Boy also win this match too. Why not give him a win?
I don't think so. You don't want to lose to Jungle Boy if you're Le Champion. You got to keep Jericho super strong. You can't beat Jericho. Go for the draw. It's better. You beat him, but you don't beat him.
It's probably the safer bet, yeah.
Yeah. Young Bucks beat Proud and Powerful in a good street fight in the main event of AEW to earn a title shot. What had a better main event? Any NXT or AEW? Both very good, but they were going up against each other. Of course, in Canada, we watch NXT on Thursday nights, so we don't really have the option of switching. But if you did have the option of switching and you had to watch one main event, would you watch the Bucks against Proud and Powerful for a tag team title shot, or would you have watched Finn versus Keith Lee versus Ciampa for an NXT title shot?
It's really tough because
tough.
They're both very good matches. But I also feel NXT was a longer show. I think it was 9 minutes longer, so you'd probably want to watch the AEW show because you'll still have a couple more minutes left.
Come on. You're not giving me a straight answer here.
I'd go back and forth. That's the only way to do it because they're both very exciting to watch.
Picture in picture or something, right? You got to watch both. It'd be hard to watch. But if I had to pick, I think I'd watch the NXT match because it's for a title shot, like the main title, and this is just for the tag titles. Maybe. I don't know.
It
but
was
the
the
match
number one
was,
contender. Yeah.
The match was so good.
Because SCU confronted them afterwards.
Yeah, but it's for the tag titles. I'm saying the Finn match was for the main title.
Oh, main title. Okay. Yeah, it's true.
You know, whatever. But that match was really good. And SCU versus the Bucks, we've seen them wrestle before. It's going to be great next week. Will the Bucks win?
I say no.
I'd say no as well. But nobody from the Elite has really won anything.
They can say that way.
SCU, they were the first champions. They've been champion for a bit. I wouldn't be surprised to see the Bucks win. Why not?
I'd never be surprised to see them win, but I don't think they need to win at this point. Keep SCU as champions for a bit longer. At least next pay-per-view.
If I had to bet on it, I would say SCU probably retains, but I'm not sure. I wouldn't bet on it.
The Bucks are like Charlotte. Like, eventually they're going to be champions.
AEW Revolution, February 29th in Chicago. It'll be held every February 29th, so get ready for once every 4 years.
That's fantastic.
No, I'm kidding. That's a joke. I don't know when they're going to hold it in 2021, but in 2020, it'll be on February 29th. Of course, there will be no February 29th in 2021.
So the Revolution only happens every once in a while.
That's right, and it will be televised on pay-per-view from Chicago. And MJF, Cody Rhodes, probably going to go down there. I would also assume Chris Jericho, Le Champion, defending against Jon Moxley will take place on that card. And maybe we do the Kenny Omega versus Pac rubber match then, but they'll probably do it maybe January 1st in Jacksonville because Pac got a promo this week asking for it. So that match is bound to happen soon.
I hope sooner than later. That's too far away, February 29th for a
So what
rubber
does
match.
Kenny do at Revolution? Book Kenny.
Like him against Hangman Page, because it felt like they were kind of going to feud a bit or going like break up, it seemed.
Kenny versus Hangman for the number one contender spot.
Or just a match. I mean, it doesn't have to be number one contender spot, but yeah.
Okay. Do we see Marty Scurll at Revolution? I'm predicting yes.
Really? Wow.
I don't know. It'd be cool.
I'm not sure. I haven't kept up to date with that.
Luke Harper?
I mean, check out ROH Final Battle. Check the results. It happened this week, so.
Did it happen this week?
It happened on Friday.
Oh, okay. Well, we'll check that out, and we will check out some more stuff for you going forward. WWE TLC, you can watch along with us. When you watch the show, you can watch it with us, a live watch-along on the YouTube channel. Myself and Johnny North will be here watching WWE TLC. If you're listening to this on the radio, you can always go to ringsidereport.net for everything that we do. Ringside Report, MMA, pro wrestling, we cover it all. Dave and Johnny live over at ringsidereport.net. Big Johnny, when is your next match? When can people see you in the ring?
So January 25th, I'll be back in Anjou. January 25th, 2020. 9001 Parkway Boulevard, 7:30 bell time. I'm not sure the match yet, but I will definitely be wrestling on this show. I was on the last one. I will be wrestling on this one.
All right, Big Johnny, January 25th, 2020. Be sure to check him out for more info. You could go to his Twitter at North Genesis, his Instagram at Genesis Johnny North. You could follow me on all the things at Dave Simon MMA. Thanks to everybody helping us out on the radio side. And a big thanks to you for listening and watching. Do check us out again during TLC, live on the YouTube channel for the TLC Watch Along. Until then, I am Dave Simon, and this has been Johnny North as well. And it's been Wrestling Uncensored, right? Yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah.